People always ask me the same thing. They're always looking for a safe, quiet neighborhood with top tier schools, a big backyard where the kids can play, all while not breaking the bank account. The answer for thousands of families is right behind me. This is Orléans, the massive suburb that anchors the east end of Ottawa. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on this community. We're going to show you the lifestyle, some hidden gems, and everything you need to know about the distinct little neighborhoods in Orléans. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to highlight the commute all the way to the east end and even show you a massive transit expansion that's going to completely change the value landscape here. Before we get too much into the details in Orléans, let's get our bearings straight. So Orléans is to the east of Ottawa, about 16 kilometers east, and it actually has a massive footprint, way bigger than people think. From east to west, it's about 13 kilometers, and from north to south, I would say about 7 kilometers. So it's quite large. So what really sets Orléans apart from its other major suburban counterparts like Canada or Barrhaven would be its soul. It has a very distinct French-Canadian culture. It's a highly bilingual community, and you'll hear French spoken in the grocery stores, in the parks, and on the soccer fields. And that is a massive superpower. If you are a tech professional or a military relocation or even a government employee, and you want your kids to grow up in a bilingual community and have access to a truly world-class French immersion experience, Orléans is really unmatched. You have top-tier school boards and acclaimed schools like Garneau and Béatrice des Loges offering incredible academic and athletic programs. All right, so let's talk numbers because that's where the real value proposition for Orléans comes into play. You're going to get bigger lots and more square footage in the home for the dollar compared to, the other major suburban counterparts of Barrhaven and Canada. But it's important to know that you can't just use a blanket term like Orléans and say Orléans as a whole, because there are, like the other counterparts, many different neighborhoods within Orléans that have a completely different character, different price points. And I'm going to show you the 3 major distinct mini types of neighborhoods within Orléans to give you an idea what you could move into. One of those pockets that I want to talk to you about would be the mature pockets. So there are 2 neighborhoods in Orléans that kind of define the mature pockets, and that would be Convent Glen and Queenswood Heights. So right now I'm actually in Convent Glen, so it works out perfectly. And I positioned the camera so you can kind of see the character of the houses and also, excuse me, the trees here. There's a ton of trees here. And that's what really defines them. It's the classic mature neighborhood with quiet tree-lined streets. These neighborhoods were built in the 70s and 80s, and it's like your traditional 2-story homes, brick, at least a brick facade, if not all brick. And the lots are good size. Lots here are usually 40 to 50 feet wide, 100 feet deep. That was a standard suburban lot of the time. And the average detached home in one of those pockets is between $650,000 and $800,000. So this is kind of your typical Convent Glen single detached home. Like I said, built in the 80s, most likely. Good lots. There's parks back there. Look ahead, you'll see, tree-lined streets, yards are well kept. This is a really good area to raise a family in, for sure. I'm in a good mood. And I feel like treating you guys. So I'm going to take you down memory lane. I'm going to show you where I grew up. I grew up in Orléans, in Queenswood Heights. And it's got very similar character to the last one I just showed you in Convent Glen. I'll turn the camera around and show it to you right now. So this is a typical Queenswood Heights street. Well, not so typical. That's actually the house I grew up in, right there. A sweet house. But as you can see, again, quiet street, mature trees. These were not as big when I lived here, but big houses. I mean, these are probably 24 to 2,600 square feet each one. There's big lots here. In the back here, you can see all the big trees. There's a lot of ravines and bike trails, all those awesome things that make a kid's childhood amazing, areas to play and go have fun. They're behind all these houses here. And I'll actually take you through a spot just around the corner here that's a bit of a hidden gem, at least last time I was through there. So hang tight. Wow. Well, I remember when these trees were planted, I remember thinking, what the hell are they doing putting trees here? And now they're massive. Absolutely massive. But I would rip my bike around this corner, and there's a big dip around here. I'll show you in a second, and what's on the other side of it. It's pretty sweet. So here's where we would take off with our bikes and just fly. I wouldn't be surprised if someone came flying up here on their bike. In the winter, we'd take our GT racers and go down this hill. There's a creek down there, so we had to slam the brakes last second before we ended up in the water. But there's a baseball diamond out here, totally hidden in the trees. There's one street, Summerlands out there, that can see here. They can see the diamond. But other than that, totally surrounded. I'll show you a bike trail down there too. That's amazing. But how awesome is this? There's parks down that way. There's 2 parks. And here's a totally enclosed baseball diamond. Right in the middle of Queenswood Heights. And this is really indicative of what the neighborhood is like. Like I said, mature trees. You can see the smaller single detached homes over there. There's a park through there if you can see it. Awesome spot. So this area is so much fun for kids. If you've got kids that are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 and 12, they are tearing this up. It's the best childhood ever. So now I'm going to take you into arguably the more popular neighborhoods in Orleans. I would call them the middle-aged family hubs. So a middle-aged family is like a growing family where you have, teenagers, you have 2 or 3 kids. So these are all 4-bedroom, single detached, 2-bedroom homes for the most part. You have some 5-bedroom homes here, kind of a bigger caliber home, bigger lots. Homes here are 2,600 to 3,000 square feet and all brick. The lots are a little bit bigger. I mean, these lots are probably 50 feet wide by 100 deep. And Fallingbrook and Chapel Hill are those 2 communities, and they're really known for, lots of tranquility. It's really quiet. I haven't passed a single car on the road here in a few minutes. Everything's walkable. You can get everywhere. There's lots of parks. The schools are great. And I'll turn the camera around and show you what the houses look like here, what the streets look like. Okay, so this is Apollo Way in Fallingbrook. One of the major streets here with lots of big homes, things like that. And you're going to see up here in a second, there's the Apollo Crater, which is a giant stormwater management pond. I've actually seen it completely fill up, and I've seen people swim in it, which is totally hilarious. But in the winter, you're going to see kids with their sleds, toboggans, GT snow racers, all that kind of fun stuff. And it looks like they're redoing the path in there too to make it even better. But it's a huge spot, and you'll see things like this in Fallingbrook everywhere. So while it may be a slightly higher caliber neighborhood than Convent Glen or Queenswood Heights, just in terms of lot sizes and size of homes. You can see, some bigger brick homes here. It does still have the parks and the green space and the mature trees, and it's just quiet here. It's a really, really nice part, one of the more popular parts of Orleans. So a very similar neighborhood to Fallingbrook would be Chapel Hill. That's where we are now. As you can see, very nice, big, beautiful homes. Slightly a little bit more upscale. One of the nicest little pockets in Orleans. Bigger homes. These lots are for sure getting 60 feet lots at some point, probably a little bigger at others. And, brick all the way around, not just in the front. Mature trees as well. These homes are built in the 90s, early 2000s. And a home out here, if you can find something for a detached home for under $850, you really lucked out. Easily 7-figure homes everywhere you look. For sure, some homes in here at 1.1, 2, 3, probably at 1.4 as well. Like, for example, we get into the back here. I mean, metal roofs are very common. Triple car garage right in front of us with a ravine lot. This home's a monster on the side of it. Right here. And there's a lot of homes like that. Again, metal roofs, great neighborhood, people walking their dogs. Great spot. All right, getting into the third group of homes in Orleans, I would call them the modern builds. If you're looking for a place that has 9-foot ceilings or higher in some rooms, you want more modern building materials on the outside, you want some stone, you want parks on the streets, but obviously they'll come with a higher price tag. You're going to get homes on the low end here, $900,000, easily into the 7 figures. Then you want to be in the, we'll call it the Trim Road corridor. That's the southern east part of Orleans. The neighborhoods out there would be like Spring Ridge, which is where I am now. Admittedly, I know I said modern. This is still about a 20-year-old neighborhood. And Notting Hill is one of the neighborhoods. Avalon. You're going to find builders like Brazil, Richcraft, and Minto out here. Beautiful neighborhoods, big houses, and a great spot to live. And of course, you've got Cardinal Creek. So this is one of the newer parts of the suburb of Orleans. This is a Tamarack Homes development. And these are all beautiful homes. They're easily all in the 7 figures for a detached home. Pretty much is the average starting price here. And they're still building new homes in Cardinal Creek as well. So you can see the trees haven't been around as long. That's about what a 15-year-old tree will get you. And like I said, they still have new stuff being built here. There's schools here. There's a retirement center. The streets have a nice topography to them. They're kind of built. This community is on the northern part of Orleans, where it kind of banks down towards the Ottawa River. So you get streets that do both. They rise and they fall, and gives it quite a bit of character. It's pretty nice. You can see right here, actually, there's some park space, and the road will take a hard left. And see the difference in elevation here with that part? And then over here, we're going uphill somewhat. Parks on the other side. Great development, very popular, new stuff. And like I said, brand new houses also available. All right, so perfect timing with the rain, because now I'm going to talk to you about the bad part of Orleans. And everyone always has to have something that's the worst. Can't all be the best. And you know what? Some people just like to complain regardless. So the only real gripe with Orleans would be the traffic. Right now, I'm at the intersection of 10th Line and Innis, one of the major intersections here. Innis is always jammed. Right now, it's 2:40 on a, what are we today, Wednesday? And, sorry, it's Tuesday. And school buses are out. I can see a few out there. But it's not rush hour yet. And this is what it's like. And it's like this all the time. So the intersection in front of me is 10th Line and Innis. The other one going to your right and left is 10th Line. That one's equally as busy. That's a road you would take to go down to the highway. And that being said, if you're anywhere on the southern side of Orleans and you want to get to the north side, which is where the highway is, this is what you're going to deal with. It's going to be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hopefully not 20 minutes, just to get out of your house and to the highway. That's the only real complaint, I would say, that people in Orleans have. See, I took a right down 10th line, and now I'm getting into the shopping area just, I don't know, 500 meters from that intersection. And this is kind of regular traffic. It's really not the end of the world, especially if you're coming from Toronto or Vancouver. This is a joke. But again, the only real complaint that we get about Orleans is the traffic. And this is what it looks like. So that being said, if you need to get to the highway often, maybe consider how deep you're going to bury yourself in the suburb of Orleans. If it's part of your everyday commute to get to the highway and back off the highway to get home, that's got to be part of your consideration. If you don't care, if you work from home, then bury yourself as deep and cozy as you want to be in any of the beautiful neighborhoods in Orleans. So I'm currently on one of the other main streets in Orleans. That would be St. Joseph Boulevard. It's the old school main street. Now, this is where you're going to find some of the greatest things in Orleans. And I may be a little bit biased, but in my opinion, that's the food. If you want to both indulge yourself and feel completely full and satiated and get into an argument with anybody, have and talk about what the best pizza and the best shawarma is in Orleans. We've got giants here. So to start it off, with pizza, we've got the OG, the absolute king of kings, Gabriel's Pizza on St. Joseph. Then we've got the king's brother, whatever that is. Louis Pizza is now on Orleans, on St. Joseph as well. And if those two got together and made love and had the most beautiful baby ever created, the Dobros is here. Dobros has the best of both of them combined. So no matter which one of the top 3 in the city you like, all of them are right here on St. Joseph, and that is a complete godsend. As far as shawarma goes, hey, listen, God bless the Lebanese community on the east side. They know how to make food, know how to have a good time, know how to live. All 3 of those pizza places are, I believe, run by Lebanese people. Dobro's, I would say half the ownership is Lebanese. But obviously the shawarma places are as well. And we've got the biggest of the best here. So we've got Shawarma Palace, probably the most well-known one, with absurd serving sizes that for some people are like 4 meals. You get this plate that's just overloading. I think it's like a joke or something, how much food they can give you for the money. The quality is excellent. And on St. Joseph, if you're from the area, we've got the king himself, the Garlic King, really Lebanese here as well. Excellent food. That's probably my favorite one. It's right next to my office. I've been going to these guys for 20 years. We know each other really well. Food's amazing. So that's probably the best part of Orleans. Besides, the French Canadian restaurants that we have, there's a few really good ones here. The pub life is good. And the food has got to be the best part of living in Orleans. If that's important to you, Orleans is probably your spot. So the real best part about Orleans is that it's where I work. And if you want to come say hi, this is where I work. St. Joseph and Orleans Boulevard. Come and say what's up. Buy you a coffee, maybe have an ice cream across the street. It'd be a good time. All right, so I'm on Trim Road now, just going through one of the many roundabouts we have here. And you are going to see the LRT final stop at Trim Road going in. Now, it's a bit of a mess down here. Don't ask me to explain what all this traffic diversion is leading to, because it's kind of confusing. I think everybody in Orleans is wondering where this is going to end up. But in the distance beyond this roundabout, you can see a major stop out there. Traffic is going to be diverted to the right. I'm going to go there right after this this big bus. See rapid transit working away. Okay, so down here is where the cars go to the park and ride to get on to that big stop we had just seen. And I will also take a left onto the highway to show you how close that rapid transit stop is to the highway itself, and what it looks like during rush hour. Admittedly, this is not going to be the direction you want to be looking at to evaluate rush hour traffic in Orleans, because we're going to be going into the downtown direction from here. But regardless, you'll see what's happening on the other side. It'll give you a good idea. Okay. All right, so turning left here, going westbound on the 174, you are going to see the LRT stop right there. And that is the last stop on the LRT line. Stage 2 is complete. That's the Trim Road station. Nice big station. And you can see in the middle of the highway here what it looks like when it takes off to the west to go through Orleans to Blair and ultimately to downtown and beyond to the west side. So that's the major transportation improvement that we've got here in Orleans. That's been my recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We covered the different types of neighborhoods here, 3 different vibes of neighborhoods, the local amenities, what's going on. We looked at the good and the bad, and now the improvements. If you have any questions about Orleans, I am a local expert. My team are experts in this suburb. Please do not hesitate to reach out, and I will get you what you need. Take care, guys.